is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No.
Y'all,
This
just
is
stop.
a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. Tori, what day is it?
It's hump day.
That's it.
I didn't think that'd come out like that.
Me neither, but I knew something was going to happen.
So aggressive. I apologize.
I don't think it sounded
everyone.
aggressive. It sounded more like a dog meets human.
Yeah.
Like woofing.
We were just talking about the Westminster dog show.
That's
Yeah.
exactly
Maybe
right.
part of that combined with the hump day.
She does have these dog voices that she brings out.
Roof.
Yeah, that was one right there.
That was it. Yeah, we've nailed it. We've pinpointed it. Stephanie Jones on the show today. Welcome, and always Erica Cobb. So, believe it or not, Tom Hanks isn't always a nice guy. Tom is known as the funny, charming, loving guy. I thought I was describing myself there.
Yeah, right.
But he doesn't always feel that way. He joked to Gayle King that in the past he has been a difficult diva, much like Tori on set.
You have been an obnoxious jerk on a movie. Seriously.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
serious.
I've been the guy who says, why can't I wear sunglasses? I think the guy should wear sunglasses in this scene. Come on, they look cool. Come on, man. Look, you can do it that way. But what if I say the line like this? I love you, baby. Let me do that. Let me wear sunglasses
you have
for
done
once in my miserable career. Let me wear sunglasses.
I still like him.
I do too.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
do
It's not
too.
working for me. So meantime, Jennifer Gardner told Allure that she struggles living up to her nice image. She said there are days when she has a, quote, blackness in her soul, so she scowls at people before they walk up to her. She said she doesn't think she's being rude. She's just not good at being fake.
There you go.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that, especially, Jennifer Garner and Tom Hanks, not that they're the same age, but they they came to us under the same philosophy. They're the nice person. So they're expected to be cordial and accommodating all the time. And what Jennifer Garner is saying is that doesn't come authentically to me, and I have trouble faking it, which makes me like her more because I can't stand people who fake things all the time.
I thought of you right when I got done reading that. I thought about you. Yeah.
I can't, I really resonate with that because I want to be kind, I want to be generous, but I can't bottle up my feelings. So when I feel something, people know it. Either way, and there's a consistency to that, and that's how the people that I resonate with most are similar to that.
Yeah, and
it's
there's
a difficult personality.
There's a line, whether it be of celebrity with a fan or just daily life. I totally agree with what Erica's saying.
I think what's ironic about this whole situation is the fact that they owned up to it means they're good people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? They're like, I could be a diva. The fact that you know that and you have introspection about that and know what's right and wrong and can sort of laugh about it mean, sorry, but I like you even more, buddy. Hank Poo. I really do.
I know. You tried to be not likable and you came off as likable.
That itself was likable. Exactly.
I think we're all human beings. No one's perfect all the time. We all like, dislike, have great days, bad days. Someone annoys the hell out of you.
Yeah.
You love someone for doing something. They're just being generally normal humans. Shock, can you believe it?
Right.
Yeah. I think with celebrities like that we're talking about, they're on a different level because it's everywhere they go.
I mean, that amount of scrutiny and pressure and every single little move they do, if they're not smiling, if their resting face doesn't look a certain way, that's going to
Ben Affleck.
It's going to be turned into this whole big story that it's not. They were just tired or just didn't feel like putting on a show that day.
Yeah, I've had people come up to me and my wife while we're fighting, and I'll just be like, I don't know what you did with the milk. You spilled. Hey, what's up? Yeah, of course. Yeah, why not? And then during the picture, Jordan gives me a look. And I'm like, uh-oh, I'm dead after this picture.
It's a weird photo.
Yeah. No, but you got to be nice. But when it gets to a certain level.
Okay, so if you're arguing with Jordan in that moment and someone comes up and asks you guys for a photo, you still take the photo.
Yeah.
You're like, sorry guys, we're having a
because
moment.
I mean, it's not anywhere near their level. You know what I mean? So I'm appreciative when people do say hi. And it kind of does break up
It kind of helps.
fight.
what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Reminds you of who you really are.
Yeah.
You're Jeff and Jordan.
Yeah, well, I'm the dad nobody cares about. So yes, you're right, love. Happy wife, happy life. Okay, so Robert De Niro has become a dad, speaking of dads, for the 7th time at the age of 79. Robert welcomed a baby reportedly with his girlfriend Tiffany Chen. The two were first romantically linked back in 2021, but she appeared in the movie The Intern back in 2015 as De Niro's Tai Chi instructor. Want to get a sneak peek up there.
I do like Tai Chi.
Bobby has 6 other kids ranging in age from 11 to 51.
I'm not into this.
I'm going to shout out that it's a little selfish, to be honest.
I think it's a little selfish. I'm with Jeff.
Please.
80 years old, basically 80, and you're starting a life. You're going to see that kid for maybe, I mean, I don't want to say anything that's a little grave, but we're talking about age.
You're going to miss a lot of the kids' life.
You
How
really
about
will.
that?
Yeah, and you don't have an influence, and it's, I don't know, I would feel a certain way. I feel a certain way.
Why do you think that? Why you say the other side?
I say the other side because I think obviously I don't know if the baby is a boy or a girl. That's completely presumptuous on my behalf. But his mother is considerably younger, so he's still going to have a mother figure. She may go on to meet somebody else in life. I'm sure she's not going to be solo, alone forever when that eventually does happen. And also, guess what? Like my partner, his father passed away when he was 2 and he was adopted, and he had the most incredible stepfather that he loves so much. So how beautiful is that? Like there's plenty of options in life. I think we shouldn't be ageist. If he can afford it, which he clearly can, and if the mum is healthy and happy and younger and she's willing to do so, which she clearly is, who are we to judge?
I'm just judging.
Yeah.
I'm just judging, and it's not right, but I'm judging because I wouldn't want that. I would have a hard time.
Guess what? This is awful. We could leave, again, heaven forbid, and something could happen to one of us. So what? So then people could say like, oh, so Jeff shouldn't have a son because he could die tomorrow on the street. I mean, no, come on.
No, I'm just, from a father's point of view, I'm happy that I could play catch with my kids and be active with them and show them things and take them around. I would feel, being the person that I am now, if I was 79, I'd feel a little guilty saying, I'm not going to be able to do that with this child. I'm not going to be able to play catch and go to all the games and do all that. So from a father's perspective, I would feel guilty having a child that late.
Mm-hmm. I totally get that as well. But I think, let's be honest also, it's Robert De Niro. The staff, help, there's going to be plenty of nannies and people that can help take the kid to the basketball or baseball or whatever he chooses to do.
We'll see. I don't know. I think we get really presumptuous about what's in people's bank accounts. And I mean, there have been a lot of, like, I was happy that when the notification came through Robert De Niro 79, the follow-up was that he had just welcomed a child, because I was like,
he's gonna do, oh God.
Yeah, and the last time that we talked about Robert De Niro, who, by the way, I've always loved Robert De Niro.
We've all loved Robert De Niro.
And I feel like Robert De Niro would really love me too. Let's just put it that way.
I think you're right.
I'm picking it up. I'm picking it up.
I think you're right.
Just to be quite honest about the situation.
The pattern.
But yeah, it wasn't necessarily great news. And so maybe there is a wealth of resource, but you're also talking about 7 children and a handful of former wives, and money just don't be money like people think it does. So, obviously this is a new child. It's a happy occasion. God bless, and mazel.
Mazel. He just wants more De Niro. De Niro.
That's good, but there's a way to rework that.
I should have workshopped it.
Like, it's going to cost him a lot of De Niro.
That's way better.
Somewhere in that.
Okay, we're fine.
Thanks, Steve. We're workshopping it. All right, it's the end of an era. After 36 years, MTV News is shutting down. To be honest, I didn't even know it was still going. It started in the 1980s when Rolling Stone edited. Look at this shot. This is like my childhood right here. Editor Kurt Loder joined the network to launch its Week in Rock program. MTV News was the first outlet to report on Kurt Cobain's death back in 1994. Also in 1984, MTV News interviewed an up-and-coming star named Madonna about her new movie, Desperately Seeking Susan, who Tori later played in a Japanese remake.
Why are we laughing? That's beautiful.
Because it's true.
It is true, and I had a great wig. I will simply say this. MTV always made me happy because they understood teenagers becoming 18 are people. Rock the Vote started, and we started learning about voting rights. They took it seriously, even though it was about music. And I thought Kurt Loder was an excellent journalist, and I really appreciated being seen as a human instead of just cartoons. I loved MTV News. I love Kurt Loder.
That shot, right?
Dude,
remember watching that on your television?
With spaghetti SpaghettiOs.
Get after it. Some Fruity Pebbles.
Oh yeah.
It's sad. Not because of it's MTV. It's just that type of programming. It's the end of that era.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And it's and I think I wish MTV. I think a lot of us wish MTV went back to like.
Do you have a favorite memory? By the way, Kurt Loder's 78.
I know.
That's unbelievable.
Look
That
at your
means
eyes,
I'm old.
like-
Because it just makes me think of my own mortality. But it's like, do you have a favorite? I just remember the boy bands at MTV, like that era. Remember that when they'd all bring their at TRL? and things
TRL
like that?
with what's his name? Carson Daly?
Yeah.
I clearly remember being where I was in the moment, eating Chef Boyardee when he came on and said Kurt Cobain in '94 has shot himself. And it was as if we got the news and it was breaking for the teenage world more so almost than the adult world. And he took it seriously. And I remember being like, I'll never forget this moment.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought you were improvising. I didn't know how literal the SpaghettiOs
No,
were.
I was really into Chef Boyardee.
All right. Coming up on DBL, our interview with Jeopardy legend Ken Jennings. Does he really have a rivalry with fellow player James Holzhauer? And is Taylor Swift dating the lead singer from the 1975s? Tori's breaking it down in her segment. Actually, they aren't. Or are they?
Find out.
DBL, this show is amazing.
There's a lot going on down here.
I would have been part of the Mile High Club.
Yeah.
So on point.
But I'm gonna have a conversation about what's happening now.
Hey guys, we're gonna go around and ask people's favorite Robert De Niro movie. Jeffrey, you are hardcore Godfather, I would assume?
I don't like the round the horn.
I don't care. You want a non-answer?
Yeah, I'll answer.
Okay,
Give me a
good.
second though,
Okay.
because there's too many. This
Right.
is a hard question.
This is a one. Do you have a favorite, Taylor? Now, you Meet the Fockers. Is that your more generation of De Niro?
Yeah, I loved him in Silver Linings Playbook.
Oh, that's
I'm
nice.
gonna
He was
say Casino
great,
or
David.
Goodfellas.
Oh, Russell with you.
Bradley Cooper.
He's probably
I
better
don't
in
know the
Casino.
answer to that. What, do you have a favorite De Niro?
But the other characters are better than him.
Sorry,
Like
I'm
Pesci's
looking
better
for
than him.
something.
Oh, no worries. I will tell you my favorite is, I think you have to go with The Godfather. Taxi Driver. You talking to me?
No, he was in
You talking to me? Oh, Taxi. That's what I mean. No, Taxi
I can't
Driver.
Taxi
share
Driver,
this though.
yeah.
Okay.
That was Al Pacino.
So I'm
He was
looking
in
for
Godfather.
I'm
but
looking
he's
through
part with it.
photos for something to send, and we're gonna have to have rules about who is allowed in our photos. Because, see, this is the thing. You can't take group photos unless the group is consistent, right? So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, I have a bunch of like 10 years of photos I can't use for anything because the group is not consistent.
It's not the group
It's not the
anymore.
group anymore.
You know
So
what?
what do you do?
You can
You know
edit
what?
and become a tree. I've done that with someone.
Do you know
An
what-
ex
how
made
my-
them a tall tree.
Do you know how? So my kid was taking football pictures,
Yeah.
and they don't take a team photo. They just take every individual kid, so they sell those
mouth.
pictures,
Oh, no, I'm just-
and then
I
they
got
put
it.
them all
In
together
AI
in the photo.
Shut
Yeah,
up.
that's how they.
Why? Remember the
that-
kid with the bat
they
in the
just did
front?
it.
And you'd be like, this is my job.
Yeah, no team photo. There was only 6 of them.
Welcome back. Exciting news. There may be a new lover for T Swift. She's been spotted with a fellow musician after her breakup from Joe Alwyn. But actually, fans don't actually seem too excited about this pairing. Why not? Let's get into it. Taylor is beloved for her seemingly perfect image she portrays to her fans. So, when news broke she might be dating the 1975's frontman Matty Healy, people had a hard time coping with it. Because Matty is known for his edgy, bad boy, player personality. So the fact that he may be dating the Queen is a little unsettling to some. I mean, Matty literally makes out with random fans at concerts. But we have a few clues that there is indeed a budding romance between the two. Exhibit A, Maddie was seen at Taylor's Nashville concert over the weekend and seen in a grainy paparazzi shot leaving in the same car. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Exhibit B. Swifties went into sleuth mode after Taylor looked dead at the camera during a concert in Nashville and mouthed, "This is about you. You know who you are. I love you." A TikToker pointed out that Taylor's moment actually has a direct connection to Maddie, who appeared to mouth the exact same thing on stage during the 1975's concert in the Philippines. And if that doesn't convince you, I bring you Exhibit C. Taylor's close friend and producer, Jack Antonoff, said he reconnected them after they initially met 10 years ago. The source also says that Taylor is crushing on Maddie and that they even briefly dated in the past. So now that we got all of our evidence out of the way, what do you think of this relationship? Did she do something bad, or does it feel so good? We'll be right back.
Only 3 weeks into the new year, the city of Monterey Park, California is in mourning. An armed man enters a dance studio, leaving 11 people dead. It was not the first mass killing of the year. There have been numerous claims that America is on pace to break a record when it comes to mass murder. Let's verify. Our sources are the Gun Violence Archive, the mass killing database compiled by USA Today, the Associated Press, and Northeastern University, and Professor James Allen Fox, professor of criminology at Northeastern. The mass killing database tracks cases where 4 or more people are murdered no matter the weapon. Professor Fox compiles the data. He says a little more than 4 months into 2023, the country has already seen 6 mass killings in public places.
Which, by the way, is the average number a year. And now we've already reached that. What strikes fears in the hearts of Americans are the shootings in restaurants, and shopping malls, and churches and schools that claim lots of lives.
The mass killing database began tracking these cases in 2006. 2019 was a record year with 233 people killed. At the current pace, the country is on track for 328 deaths. Professor Fox points out that 2009 started off looking like a record year.
In fact, if you go back a couple weeks, this year and 2009 were tied. But then 2009, there wasn't another one until June. This is a record at this point in the year. And that doesn't mean that the rest of the year will be the same.
As its name indicates, the Gun Violence Archive looks at mass killings where no weapons are used other than guns. Their numbers indicate the country could see a record 317 deaths this year. So we can verify that, yes, data compiled by 2 separate groups show the nation is on pace for a record when it comes to the number of deaths in mass killings.
Welcome back. Ken Jennings knows what it's like to be on both sides of the Jeopardy podium, and he's the highest winning Jeopardy contestant ever. And now he's hosting the Jeopardy Masters Tournament. We chatted with him earlier. Take a look.
Please welcome back to the show, Ken Jennings.
Hey, Ken, we're happy to have you back. So you're currently hosting the Jeopardy Masters Tournament. How is the tournament paying tribute to our who we considered a friend, Alex Trebek?
Alex was the greatest at the Jeopardy hosting job there could ever be or there ever will be. We've brought back 6 of the best contestants of recent years, at least 2 of whom actually played with Alex, and they're going to go head to head. You're going to see all 6 of them playing every night on ABC. So you'll see rivalries and relationships develop between them. And one winner is going to receive a $500,000 prize and the first ever Alex Trebek trophy, our Jeopardy Masters.
That's so cool to get the first one. Now, this is a little different because the audience knows where the double Jeopardy clues are on the board during the Masters tournament. Talk to us about why the change.
This is the one thing we've tweaked for Masters. We're trying something out where before every round, we show the viewers at home something the players don't know, where the daily doubles are. The idea is that we noticed in the studio, there was a lot of suspense when we knew where the daily doubles were, but the players were having a hard time finding them. They'd come close, they'd move away. It was almost like a suspense movie or a horror movie. And so now we show the audience, and if they want to take a look, they can enjoy the suspense along with us.
Okay, Ken, I have to ask, because I have this theory, there's a slight pause that right before the Daily Double is shown, like I can always hear, like I'll say, Daily Double. Is it just me?
He's laughing.
No, that's something Alex would do. He would often say, answer, pew, 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 and then the Daily Double would pop up. So if you ever heard the host say answer, you'd be pretty sure that the Daily Double was about to pop up. And
Nice, Bobby.
Good job.
Erica gets it. Yes, Erica. Okay, so James Holzhauer is, of course, competing in the tournament, and he calls himself the quote-unquote game show villain, and even roasted you on Twitter. He also asked why you're, quote, ducking a rematch. Do you two have a rivalry as the top two highest winning Jeopardy contestants? Give us the tea.
Well, James and I went head-to-head in the greatest of all time tournament in 2020. And, good job, James. He finished second place. He's maybe not as happy about that as I was. And he's trying to lure me back onto the game. But let me tell you, hosting Jeopardy may be a tough gig, but there's a lot more job security for the host than for the contestants. I'm a little too old to be playing the young bucks like James Holzhauer. I'm happy to be out.
What is the correct answer for 200? I liked it. Okay, so one of our producers, Ken, is a Jeopardy mega fan, and she thinks she's figured out the 5 topics you need to know to have a chance at winning Jeopardy. We want you to decide if she's right, okay? First up, Greek, Egyptian gods and mythology, American history, government, literature, my least favorite, bodies of water, and 80s TV, movies, and music.
Ooh, I like that one.
How do we feel, and how do you do that? How do you feel? Are those good?
I didn't know we were so into the 80s. That's great for Gen Xers like me. I think that's actually a pretty good list. When people ask me, how to study up for the show, the things that are always on Jeopardy are actually what you've got there. Greek gods are a great one. Literature like Shakespeare, you should know those. I feel like world capitals and presidents, and I guess that falls under American government. That's probably the most bang for your buck there. Know your world capitals and your presidents.
Okay, that's good. Bodies of water is the worst one, though. I just say the Nile. Every time. I don't know. Lots of them. Yep.
Ken, I got to know, as a host now, you're really coming in your own. I heard you drop that network plug a little bit earlier. So I got to know, how often do you stumble over these questions? Because if I had to read these, we'd be there for, 3 weeks for one game. Like, I don't know all these words. Do you stumble over questions and have to do retakes?
It's really tough because there's 61 clues in every game, and you want to read them perfectly because you want the contestants to have the best shot at responding correctly. And what that means is you take some time to study. Alex used to come in early every morning and look at all the games for an hour or two. I'm not as much of a morning person as Alex, so I come in the night before and I look at the next day's games and I try to rehearse. If I ever do stumble over a word, we can do a quick retake during a commercial. But for the contestants, I like to be as close to perfect as Alex was.
Of course.
Yeah, me too. I have the same philosophy.
And I think he learned something too. I think he learned from Sam that there's so many bodies of water.
Okay.
So you can walk with that.
Wow.
There's so many.
Wow, Ken. Thank you so much for joining us today. DBL Nation, be sure to tune into the Jeopardy Masters Tournament on ABC. Thanks again, Ken. We'll be right back.
What a pleasure. Thanks.
The claim's been popping up all over online, including in this newsletter from Eastern Washington Representative Kathy McMorris Rogers, which claims that fentanyl is now the leading killer of Americans aged 18 to 45. Our sources to verify this claim are the CDC, the nonprofit Families Against Fentanyl, the Washington Department of Health, and Trooper Seth Green with the Idaho State Police. Let's start with the CDC. According to their 2021 mortality data, the leading cause of death for American adults was unintentional deaths, which includes accidental drug overdoses due to synthetic opioids like fentanyl. The nonprofit Families Against Fentanyl, using 2020 CDC data, reports that fentanyl is the leading cause of death for American adults. When we analyzed the 2020 data, unintentional injuries accounted for slightly more than 78,000 deaths, with drug overdoses accounting for nearly 50,000 deaths. Of those 50,000, 35,000 drug overdoses can be attributed to the use of synthetic narcotics, which includes fentanyl. But here's where it gets tricky. The CDC doesn't track fentanyl deaths specifically, it only categorizes them under synthetic opioids, which could include other drugs too. So let's look at Washington and Idaho.
What are you guys seeing in terms of fentanyl in the state of Idaho?
Well, we're seeing a massive increase over the past few years.
Corporal Seth Green with the Idaho State Police says in the Gem State, fentanyl has overtaken car crashes as the leading cause of death for adults in the state.
We have seen it actually eclipse crashes, actually. So we saw 353 ODs, majority of which were fentanyl last year, and then only 265 fatal crashes. So we've seen the numbers between crashes used to be the leading cause of death. Now it's obviously ODs.
It's a similar story in Washington. The chief science officer for the State Department of Health said fentanyl is the leading cause of death among adults, accounting for 765 overdose deaths in 2021, more than car crashes and suicides. So while fentanyl may be the leading cause of death for Americans, the claim needs context. But we can verify, according to our sources, the drug is the leading cause of death for adults in Idaho and Washington.
Popular apps could make you believe crime is rampant. Let's connect the dots. Nextdoor and Citizen are two popular apps where folks often post about local crimes. But it's not always a good thing. Researchers from the University of Houston found when people read about a crime, they start to think the crime is rampant in their area, even when it's not. Psychologists found that folks who use the apps perceive local crime rates to be higher than people who don't use the platforms. The root of the problem could be human nature. It's a lot easier for our brain to absorb a story from a friend or a neighbor than statistical analysis of crime rates. Another issue is how social media algorithms work. They tend to prioritize content on your feed that gets a lot of reaction. A post about a break-in is probably going to get a bigger reaction, making you more likely to see the post about it. Meaning it's just a reminder that social media is not real life. And that is Connecting the Dots.
Escape to paradise for your chance to win the perfect family getaway. Watch DBL every day for a word of the day. Then enter at dailyblastlive.com/beaches for your chance to win a 4-day, 3-night beaches resort stay for a family of 4 to a beaches resorts destination in Jamaica or Turks and Caicos. Today's beaches resorts word of the day is sunscreen. The winner will be announced on DBL May 24th.
Welcome back. It's easy to overlook maintenance that you may need for your car. That's today's Auto Alert, sponsored by Ox Car Care. First up, cabin air filters. These filters keep the air in your car clean by filtering out dust and pollen, which is a pretty general rule for filters.
I was thinking the same thing.
It's also this time of year because of the allergies, Erica. There you go. Next, wheel alignment. If it feels like your car is pulling to one side while you drive, that's a sign that your alignment is off. You should get that checked at least once a year. And lastly, every time you get your brake serviced, be sure to have your brake fluid checked as well. Ox Car Care is dedicated to providing you with an amazing auto protection plan experience that works with your budget. If you're looking for better car care, give them a call today at 800-687-1821. And Erica Cobb, we have a very special birthday shout out.
Yes, it's my husband Anthony's birthday.
Yes!
Happy birthday. So he doesn't normally look like that. We threw him a 70s casino birthday party last year. A lot of y'all came out, DBL family, to celebrate.
Oh, yes.
So, yes, happy birthday, my love. Thank you for loving me. I love you so much.
Oh, and we all love you too, buddy. Happy birthday.
We like you.